Okay. Hello again, you guys. It's now evening here, so I gotta try not to talk very loudly. However, you know, it is evening now, so I have my makeup on, I brushed my hair and everything, I took a shower and stuff, so I feel somewhat more presentable for a second video today. Another diary, I guess. Um, my video this morning was very strained. You know, the communication in that video was very strained. Um, and I really wish that I didn't have to have so much strain on my ability to communicate thoughts and ideas. Um, I'm not really good at, you know, thinking when it comes to like videos and stuff. Um, so probably doesn't help the fact that I'm just staring right at the mirror of myself, and that kind of just makes me more anxious. But I had an idea that just I had this thing just I was just now laying in bed just now, and this thing like occurred to me. Um this thought that I had that it was just like racking around in my brain, and it just felt like it was like causing damage. And so I had to get it out because it was just so someone close to me recently um used the words calm down to me. They, I'm not gonna go into detail, but someone close to me recently um, told me to calm down and said that everything is going to be okay. And I've just been thinking about that, um, those words, because they've just been very, really bothering me. Because I'm sorry, I have trouble thinking. It's hard to have trouble thinking because I don't have complete and total privacy, and the walls are very thin. So, um, here's the thing though with that. Here's the thing with that line, everything's going to be okay. That really bothers me. Is that I've lived through a lot of not okays. I've lived through a lot of periods where someone told me that are going to be okay. And I'm here to tell you that they didn't turn out okay. They didn't. They did not turn out okay. There were getting hives because I'm getting anxious. Get hives a lot when my anxiety spikes. Whatever. The point is, I've lived through a lot of not okays. I've lived through a lot of times where things did not turn out okay. And I really, really wanted them to. I really wanted them to turn out okay. And they did not. Um, in fact, often the thing that I was most scared of came to happen. That's happened a lot. So, this line of everything's going to be okay. When this person said it to me, it just like racked my brain. It really just upset me. But I didn't show it, obviously. I've been through a lot of very, very scary times and situations where I really wanted things to turn out okay, and they did not. They did not turn out okay by any means. My worst nightmares have occurred over and over and over again. Nothing ever just turns out okay. That's not how that works. Things, and it didn't help that it was a male who said this to me, because I'm not a misandrist, but it's very easy for a male to always say that things are going to turn out okay because they're not the ones as affected by things. Males are happy with less, but females can't necessarily accept it. And that's just like also just like biological too, to a large extent. It's biological, because a male's just taking care of the male, but the woman is also taking care of a baby, right? So, I mean, you could, whatever, I don't need to justify myself. It's just, it is a bit typical for a man to just constantly tell a woman, calm down. Everything's going to be okay. It's like, oh yeah, well, that's easy for you to say because you're the one in control, right? You're the one in control of everything. You're the one with all the power. It's not so scary for you. But like I said, the only things in my life have never turned out okay. They never turned out okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Because it's like, there's been moments in my life where I wanted things to turn out okay, and they did not. And just because I'm here to tell the tale does not mean that they did work out and that they did turn out okay. Okay. A common slogan for people who suffer from PTSD is that not all wounds are visible or something. They said, yeah, is the slogan. Um, just because I am physically breathing in here, and breathing is also, you could medically analyze that, because my breathing isn't also very good either. Just because I survived does not mean that they all turned out okay. They did not. These things did not turn out okay for me. They did not turn out okay. They were not okay. Okay, none of these things turned out okay. Nothing in my life ever turned out okay, ever. That I can think of. Um, so, well, it must not have been that bad, because you're still here to complain about it, right? No, it was that bad. It was that bad. Because I'm not here to complain about it. That's what people don't get. That's not how PTSD works. I'm not here. A piece of me was left there. Piece of me was left there. Died there. Died there. There's pieces of me all over the place. I'm missing parts of myself. I did not survive. I'm not intact. Not all of me survived the ordeal. I am missing parts of myself because nothing ever turned out okay. That's how that works. The only way, look, let me give you an example. I saw some YouTube short a while ago, that I just thought, kind of clarified this point that I'm making. It was basically some kind of couple video, I guess. Some married couple video, the man was, enjoying his day. It wasn't working, his day off. And the woman was uh, cooking and cleaning or something, she was doing dishes or some shit. And there was like kind of a little bit of a battle going on in the comments where all the men were basically sort of siding with the dad or the male, because they were basically saying, like, he's actually got the right idea. He's doing it right because he's not overworking himself on his day off. He's taking his time to do self-care and recharge. A word they learned from women, by the way, the whole self-care bit. That was a woman invention, the whole self-care. I'm fairly certain. Doesn't matter. Anyway, and they were saying, like, yeah, see, the male, he's got it right. She's doing too much. Look at her. She's all cooking and cleaning and shit, and he's enjoying his day off. That's why, women are always like bitchy or whatever, and men are just like, it's because men, know how to take it easy or some shit. But then and I read that, and it's just something, and I kind of wanted to agree with it, because I was thinking, like, well, yeah, like on the surface, it's like, yeah, yeah. But then I read the women, the women's comments. And then I was like, all right, now this is when I realized, like, yeah, these people get me, which is a rare feeling. But all the women were basically like, hold up. She's not, she's cooking and cleaning on her day off on the weekend, because if she doesn't, it piles up for Monday. And then it's even more stressful. So the reason that he has that day off, or that they have a day off at all, is because she keeps up constantly. She does this upkeep to make sure to keep things from piling up. And I've struggled with this with so many people in my life, where I've always been the most organized, the most structured, the most disciplined person in my life. I keep all my spaces clean. I keep my workspace clean. I used to label my fucking drawers. Maybe you could say it's autistic, but it used to help me. And so it frustrates me when people, what they're doing is they're stealing relaxation from tomorrow. They're stealing relaxation for today from tomorrow. And look, if you're trapped in some kind of cycle of, some kind of capitalistic, dystopic, whatever, steal whatever the fuck you gotta steal in order to get through life, Can't just live a life of constant stress and worry. But my point is, here's my point. Okay. The only time that, and I can't even think of an example because they must have been very fucking small. The only time anything in my life ever worked out and turned out okay, was not when I let go and relaxed. It was when I fucking stressed out over it, and I did not stop until it was fixed and it was solved. The only time anything in my life ever turned out okay was when I made damn sure that it did turn out okay. And I'm not sitting here gloating or boasting about my work ethic and my discipline or something, and I'm trying to put anyone down. It obviously did not pay off for me because things did not work out for me in my life. But it's too easy sometimes to just say things are going to be okay. And I see, and I it really hurts because it hurts because in my life, growing up as a young girl in my life, not having strong men in my life, it put the stress on me. If men are not strong and do what's right, then it puts stress on the women. And arguably even worse, it puts stress on the children. And that's so typical of, that's like, that's the hallmark, right, of American families and narcissistic parents, right? Even if your parents, weren't abusive as shit like mine, and you're now fucking disabled or something and stuff because of it. It's just so normal for parents to basically, um, for grown-ups, for people in general, to sort of omit responsibility and not have accountability for things. And then that is, and then that stress is then transferred onto children. And I think a lot of, social ills are because of that. Obviously, now I'm touching on the subject of generational trauma and whatnot. So it's just, it's really hard for me to wrap my head around um, things sometimes when I'm literally, because it feels like, somewhere along the way in the past 8 years, I lost my fucking mind and I lost my sense, and nothing makes sense. And it just feels like I'm watching everyone else in the world all the time, and I'm watching people and they're just behaving in ways that to me just don't make sense to me. Like, they're just so irrational. And it's like I'm watching people play out foolish behavior all the time. And I know exactly where it ended. For me, at least. I didn't have people to basically pick up to shelter me from consequences and stuff. But what am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? What the fuck is she saying? It just really irked me when this guy said everything's gonna be okay, because I've lived through so many timelines already where things did not turn out okay. I've killed off versions of myself that could have been. They died. Things did not turn out okay. And we were having that same discussion, that same exact fucking conversation in those timelines and in those lives. I've lived so many lives. At this point, it's like I feel it's like a cat has 9 lives. I got 1 left. I've already lost all 8. And I'll tell you, 8 of those 9 lives that I've lived so far, they did not turn out okay. And we had the exact same conversation in those lives with other people. It was me. I was there, but you weren't there. He wasn't there. She wasn't there. It was different people. Same conversation, different face. I've had it a million times. Is everything going to be okay? Yeah, everything's going to be okay. It did not turn out okay. The worst thing fucking happened. Such negative energy, right? Negative. Negative energy, right? This is why no one likes me, right? Right? It's not my face. It's not my gimpy eyeball. It's not my messed up teeth. It's not my fucking andro appearance. It's not my fucking short Karen hair. They keep calling it Karen. It's not any of this shit. It's because of my energy, right? Because it's so negative. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, it's easy to be positive when shit's going right for you. Okay? It's easy to be positive when it's easy to be positive and keep a positive mindset when you're not at the bad ending. I'm not saying this type of shit to be negative. I'm saying this type of shit because regardless of whether you like it or not, whether it's motivating or inspirational or not, it has to be acknowledged and worked with because it's the only thing that ever protected me. You know, reality is very harsh. And I don't like it any more than anybody else. But why am I even forget? Don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me. I'm sitting here using words like reality. Who the fuck am I? That's not me. Forget what I just said. Reality. Don't ever listen to me if I say some shit like that, ever. You make your own truth. And fuck whoever doesn't like it. Okay? All I'm saying, all I'm really saying is that I don't know, I'm just venting. Okay, I'm just venting. Things did not work out for me. So you can't just tell someone things are gonna work out for you because things did not work out for a lot of people. I mean, think about it. Do you want to? I don't think you do. People don't want to, right? People don't want to. They don't want to think about it. There's a lot of fucking people who things did not work out for. And you know exactly who the hell I'm talking about. 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. Did it work out for them? Did it work out for um did it work out for, there was a million Anne Franks, probably. But we wouldn't know because they didn't write diaries. Did it work out for the unnamed? We don't even know her name. But her name was maybe Marie Hathaway or Marie Hathelstein or something. We don't know. What happened to her? We know exactly what happened to her. Did things work out for her? She probably, she had dreams. Things hurt her. But nothing hurt her like that gas, right? Nothing hurt her as bad as the gas. Her greatest fear, you know what I mean? Like some very, just take like some, very young Jewish girl in Poland, right? Her greatest fear was being laughed at by the whole school when she's doing her piano recital, right? Because she knows she's not good. That was her greatest fear. And maybe it even kept her from doing it. Right? That was her greatest fear. But it wasn't what killed her. What killed her was literally like a bullet in the back of the head. Or worse, fire. Did things work out for that little girl? Did she get to, you know? It was even worse than imagined. Right? It was worse than imagined. Her greatest fear was being laughed at. And she got scorched instead. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a million people who things did not work out for. They did not work out for these people. It's going on right now. Right now. If you don't believe me, you just open your fucking eyes. There's a million people right now it did not work out for. You can go to any hospital right now. You know? Just broken people. Just being wheeled out in a body bag. I've seen people wheeled out in body bags before, when I used to work at the hotel I used to work at, I saw a couple, I saw a couple body bags being wheeled out at 2 a.m. Drug overdoses and whatnot. And their kids left crying in the hallway. Sorry, I'm just always messing with my hair. It's a little thing with me. Anyway, you get my point. I think that what is my point? Have I emphasized it properly? Lots of people things did not work out for, and they currently are not working out for, and they are currently going downhill steady. And no one's stopping it right now. Right? Kids in Africa. Fuck yeah, kids in Africa, adults in Africa. People stronger than you, right? People stronger than you. Possibly more intelligent than you. I understand Africa in general has like a lower IQ than our continent and everything, but that's not necessarily, you don't know that, right? You don't know that. There's people right now probably stronger than you, more intelligent than you, better than you in some capacity, and yet they are facing their total and utter demise. Things are not working out for them. I find it difficult to live in innocence anymore and naivety. And I really badly want to, but too much has happened to me. It just, you can't just say everything's going to work out, because that's rarely the case. So the next question, obviously, I guess, is, what are you trying to do to, what are you trying to do about it? And I know I'm one to talk, right? Well, I'm not here trying to patronize anybody, or I'm not here trying to minimize anybody. But it often just feels like the ship has sailed on me. So I'm not just talking about people. I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about myself. You know, I've done almost everything that I can for me. I can say that. I can say that. I know that. I can say that before God. You know, I can say that I've done almost everything in my power to make things work out for me. And I'm not trying to minimize anybody, but can you say that? Can you say that? Not say it to me, but can you say it to yourself? Because that's all that matters. If you are satisfied that you did everything you could, if it's enough for you, then it's enough for me. That's all this is. If it's enough for you, it's enough for me. And no one has any right to criticize you for that. That's all I'm saying. No one has any right to criticize you. If it's enough for you, it should be enough for them. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to get this vent out, you know. Had to share this. Okay, bye.